Hello and welcome back to Pokésports, a competitive Pokemon podcast. I'm Mike, and I play with 1 month off on the field.
I'm Kevin. I have a new wrinkle on my eyes because that's how
Oh.
long it's been.
Kevin's aged.
I have crow's feet now.
That's fine. That's fine. I've had there was a podcast that we were on. Were we both on that? Yes, we were.
Yes, we were. Yes. Good job.
The comments on that were like, "Oh, Mike's aged," and I'm like, "Ah."
Really? That's rude. They haven't seen you in a long time, right?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Some people, their first experience with me was maybe 10 years ago, like a third of my life ago. So
fair. Yeah.
Yeah. I recently, this morning, actually, and I wanted to save this for the podcast. This morning, I went onto our YouTube channel, as I do, and I looked at the comments section, which always kind of hit and miss, usually hit, but sometimes, it was a comment on a video from 4 years ago, like when we just started, but like they just made the comment, so it kind of just showed up. Yeah.
Okay.
It was the comment was actually nice, so I don't know why I'm framing it like it wasn't, but I watched a little bit of the video. It was a 6v6 singles video that I did because I used to do those back in the day. I don't remember doing them for Pokésports, but I guess I did. And I was like, I am boring. I was like,
whoa,
I didn't smile at all. Like,
you're your own worst critic, Mike.
I was full thought process. Like 4 years ago, Michael, not the content creator that I want 4 years later, Michael, to be.
Jeez. I mean, honestly, I feel the same way though. I mean, I feel like you always think you're the better content creator in the present.
Yes.
But that's impossible to always be the better content creator in the present, because present happened in the past, you know?
Right.
You were once in the present before and you thought you were doing just fine.
Like it really made me think, like there are a lot of streamers out there right now who are like really popular and their full thought process as well. But the difference, I think, is that like, even though they're not super like energetic or like not impactful, but like enthusiastic toward the camera, they're still more coherent, and I like a good coherent thought process. For me, I was just like, yeah, okay, so I mean, I'm gonna take Rotom Heat's gonna come in here, so maybe I'll go and bring a Rotom Heat.
You were just playing it cool, man. Don't worry.
I was
about
playing it cool.
You were playing it cool.
Yeah.
You were just like, you know what? I'm Mike from Pokésports. I don't need to do nothing.
Yeah, man. Mike from Pokésports. What up?
People gonna watch me no matter what.
Yeah, okay. People will do a hard drop, and I know it. So yes, I am. You may notice if you're watching the video version, I'm back in the original spot. I have completed my mandatory 1 year in my in my condo, and now I'm back here while I look for a house. So
he transferred dungeons.
I've transferred dungeons. We're back over here for at least the next little bit, and then hopefully the next spot that we're in is El Permanente. But
in
hey,
case you guys are wondering where the podcast has been, Mike was on vacation, then decided to move immediately when he got back.
I wouldn't suggest it, actually. Turns out, yeah, I was on vacation for 12 days in Edinburgh, Scotland, and had a great time there. But all during that time, I listed my home because I was like, you know what? It'd be nice to not have to like displace myself anytime somebody wants to come in and look at the place. But that also means that you have to deal with all the logistics while you're overseas. So no, wouldn't recommend it. But hey, it worked out the way that we hoped that it would work out. It was sold by the time we got back. So happy.
The greatest thing that happened when Mike was in Scotland was the creation of Sand Game.
Yeah.
so
Things
when Mike
just kind of changed, huh?
So when Mike when Mike was uploading the Sand Team video,
yeah,
he put it at 12 local time, forgetting that he's 5 hours ahead. So I wasn't awake at 7 a.m. So what ended up happening was it uploaded as whatever I titled it to send to Mike, which was Sand Game.
Yeah.
And 900 people saw it before I could finish it.
So yeah. So sand dash game has kind of become a thing around here, I guess.
It's funny because the next couple of days they were just like Pelipper game.
Yeah.
In the
I
comment
mean,
section.
a massive peek behind the curtain. That is genuinely how these files are shared. All right, like,
Yep.
if this game features Sneasler and we are going to be putting Sneasler on the title, I get 2 files. I get Sneasler-game and Sneasler-Kevin, and one of them is the game and one of them is Kevin. Yeah. So that was fun.
Sand game.
I didn't realize that YouTube did that. I was like, oh, this is actually kind of impressive that YouTube follows your time zone like that. But if you go and upload somewhere else with a different time zone, YouTube will be like, okay, so you want to upload at 12 o'clock p.m. your current time zone.
Well, yeah, YouTube knows where you are.
Isn't that nuts? The way of the future. This is 2024, dude. They get it. They've got it.
Also, kudos to Mike for working while on vacation.
Oh,
everyone clap for Mike.
Thank you. It was a work vacation, so it was easy. Plus, also a lot of the stuff that I did was like late night, so I had so much of the day. Even though I had my kid there, so we would go to like magic shows and stuff during the day. It was wild, man. Like, I went to go see this one Japanese unicyclist duo called Cartoon with 4 O's. And
perfect.
Yeah, they're straight out of Japan. Like, they were up on a unicycle, and then they would bring like a second wheel onto the unicycle. So then they'd be up on like a unicycle with 2 wheels, like, which at that point
called
is
a bicycle.
That's a bicycle.
That's a bicycle. Yes.
I hear myself. But it's stacked. The wheels are stacked, so like it's a wheel spinning a wheel. And then eventually they got up to like 5. So there are 5 wheels stacked on top. It's a pentacycle. Pentacycle. And they're like so close to the top of the tent, just up on those unicycles. It was crazy. It was great.
Bear with us, guys. Me and Mike haven't spoken in a month, by the way. So
yeah.
We're gonna have a lot of tangents today.
I'm gonna be like peppering in like little catch up moments between Kevin, and I hope you appreciate that.
We're just bonding right now. Leave us alone.
Yeah. We miss each other. We live in 2 different countries, man. Why do we
were
not
in a third one?
Yes, and I was in a completely neutral party of a third country. Driving on the other side of the road. I went over to Loch Ness.
Oh, they do that there?
Yeah, they drive on the other side of the road, and the steering wheel's on the other side of the car.
Were you driving?
I was driving. I drove
How was
4
that
hours. Scary, because they have a lot of roundabouts. No.
It hurts me to think about.
It for a little bit, and then eventually you get used to it. But it was a long scenic drive, which was nice. If it was like a long traffic drive, I think I'd be a lot more scared. But it was just beautiful mountains and grass and sheep and stuff. So many sheep.
A lot of castles, a lot of schools.
A lot of castles and a lot of schools. Yeah. So what happened while we were gone? Worlds 2024.
Yep. The thing that we culminated to this whole time, you know.
The World Championship of Pokemon has happened. We'll talk a little bit about that today. We'll break down the teams and whatnot, as we typically do. We're going to talk about Worlds 2025 and 2026. We're going to talk about the new Unite Pokemon that are going to be dropping, one of which has just dropped as of very recently. We're going to talk about the Grand Challenge and, of course, September's VR Challenge, the Victory Road Challenge. We're talking about that all this episode. So if you're ready, buckle up. Oh, Kevin's buckling up. He's doing it. That was 2 buckles.
I'm double buckled.
I American cars are different, I think. Because
Well,
for
yes,
me,
we
I
don't
have
buckle in the front.
yeah. First of all,
over
it
the
wasn't even
shoulder.
over the shoulder. It was like 2 around the stomach, like, which can't be good for crashes. Your crash test dummies are like one use only.
Fair.
Yeah. No, that's the, you know what? That's the whole thing about a crash test dummy is you want to be able to use it more than once. And if you
Yeah.
can, then that's just good for business, I think.
I think
Do
they
you
put
agree,
that in
Kevin?
the car's resume where it's just like this crash test dummy was used X amount of times.
Yeah, you know what? If I go to like the website of a Honda Civic and they're like one crash test dummy was used in the entire testing of this, I'd be
Unsafe
like,
car.
no. What do you mean? It means the crash test dummy never
Oh yeah,
broke.
you're right. Only one was
Yeah,
used.
you want as little
Oh.
used as possible. If everything goes through the same amount of testing, the same amount of tests, and your Tesla mod, not yours, because I know you don't have one. I know you will never have one.
I don't know if
Tesla
my
model.
electricity can handle it. Honestly, I don't know if this house is capable of doing that. I
You're
have
gonna
a
need
hard
to
time.
change your city's grid.
I have a hard time having this AC on and the air fryer on at the same time. It's like I start to see flickering. I'm like, oh.
Right. Man, I can't keep cool and have chicken wings. Oh wow.
This is a Pokemon podcast.
This is a Pokemon podcast, so we're talking about Pokemon. Okay, so Worlds 2024 happened. How was it? Because I was in Scotland at the time, but I know you catch these things.
It was a month ago, so I don't remember.
Oh, good.
But production value was through the roof. It was great.
Sure.
I did appreciate the production value. The teams, not surprised by much, but I mean, that's kind of what regulation. What was the last one we did? G. That's kind of what regulation G does.
Yeah.
It was, and we'll get to the teams in a second. It was as you'd expect it to be. There wasn't any secret pocket picks. Ain't no Pachirisu in the top 8. You know, it wasn't one of these special worlds. But when you have restricted Pokemon, you're gonna have situations like that. And I've been playing my heart out in Regulation H. Such a breath of fresh air. I know you haven't even dabbled. You probably haven't even seen. You've just seen whatever the heck I've uploaded, which is
I just unpacked my Switch today.
Oh, okay. Well, there's that.
I was like, oh, there it is.
But yeah, no, I'm actually like 1600s on Showdown, which isn't high ladder. It's also not the bottom of the ladder.
Amazing.
So I'm only playing hard. I can play Hard Trick Room again is the reason why I'm having such a good time. The meta probably sucks, but I'm the reason it sucks, you know?
I'm part of the problem today. Yeah.
I'm just happy I don't got to deal with none of those ruinous dark types. I don't got to deal with Miraidon changing my terrain every time I want to side spam something. You know, I'm just having a great old time.
Yeah. Yeah. We, in the 2024 Worlds, we got notice of where Worlds 2025 and 2026 are going to be, both of which in California. In 2025, we're going to be in Anaheim, and in 2026, we're going to be in San Francisco.
Look at those contracts they pulled, man.
Yeah.
3-year
really
contracts for New Orleans and now 2-year contracts for California.
Interesting how they're just kind of being so forthright with it. Like you'd think that they'd, I don't know, keep it a little more under wraps.
A lot of people are like, oh, does this mean we're going to get a California-based Pokemon region? I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
I don't think they do that. Like, I think the only time they ever did that was for, like, Galar,
Hawaii.
right?
Yeah.
Well, not even, because did we go to Hawaii for that?
Alola. Oh,
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think Worlds was there, though.
No.
Worlds was there before, and then Masuda and his friends, when they were making the game, they loved Hawaii so much. They're like, well, let's make a region out of it. Yeah.
I don't know though. Like I'm excited for California because I feel like that's a lot more accessible of a place. But based on kind of where Worlds have been past couple of years, like the city like really goes ham in whatever place Worlds is, right? Japan is still like having a massive party from Worlds from this. Like Pokelids I just found was a thing, which are Pokemon utility hole covers that are just kind of like all around is it in Nagoya? Over Japan, it
It's
seems.
all
Yeah,
over
throughout
Japan.
Japan.
Yeah.
So it's all part of like a
Go
local.
catch 'em all.
Yeah, it's all part of
Um,
like a local campaign where like they have different art all over their different utility holes, and they're encouraging people to like take pictures of them and share them online. And they're, I would imagine there are some people who are like collectors of these photos who like try to go and take a picture of every
Mhm.
single one. And I don't see Anaheim doing that. I don't see San Francisco doing that. Because there's just so much non Pokemon in those
already
areas.
there.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
I'd love to be
Nola
wrong
did a
about
good
that.
job. Well, you weren't there for when Nola was doing the Nola thing. But you know, they had a whole marching band. There was a guy on stilts. There was a nice little
You're
performance that they had
kidding.
there. And yeah. That on the commencement, it was essentially the commencement ceremony
Yeah.
before round one. It was just like a big old marching band strolling through. And then at the airport, there was a jazz band playing at the airport right in front of badge pickups and stuff like that with like
That's so
Pokemon
cool.
tubas. It was cool. Yeah. Just
Pokemon
playing Pokemon
tubas?
jazz. Yeah, they were playing Pokemon music in like swing. It was actually really interesting.
That's so cool.
Mm.
What? And this was in New Orleans
was a
for
Thursday.
nationals.
Yeah, this was for
Oh.
NASC. So maybe, I don't know, maybe they'll do something in California. I don't know. See, the problem with California is like California is such a developed place.
Right.
Is there culture to California? I might be very ignorant to say this. I haven't been to California, but like I can think of New Orleans and I can think of the culture in New Orleans. I can think of even I don't want to say Ohio, because that's not the one.
Well, sure.
I can think of like
Mhm.
Canada has its culture and stuff too, right? Montreal probably has a little more than Toronto. I don't know.
Well, okay. So when I think of like New Orleans, you can associate that with like marching bands and jazz music and like all that,
etc. Yeah,
with Ohio, like there's stuff, but like it's mostly like, especially in Columbus, it's kind of like a school state, right?
Texas, you could think of horses, cowboys, Western, etc., etc.
Sure.
Yeah, you could think of like some culture. Like when you think of California, I think of the Gold Rush.
I think of movies. I think of
Pokemon Goes Hollywood.
Pokemon Goes Hollywood, you know?
San Francisco,
Sure.
I think, has a little bit more.
That's
Getting
like the tech capital, right?
Getting a B&B in San Francisco is going to suck. Like that's going to be the problem. That's a very expensive city to stay in.
Because people are staying there all year round.
Yeah, no, that's like one of the most expensive places in the United States to live in, let alone visit. Yeah, so that's going to be not fun.
It could mean that there are an abundance of Airbnbs because of that.
Fair enough, yeah.
You might be sharing your accommodations with the owner, but hey. Such as
everyone sleep in the same bed. We'll go horizontal and it will all fit.
We're all renting a 1-bedroom. You're coming to Toronto, right?
Yeah. That's the only one I have planned this year. I already have my vacation set up for it. I just have to book the flights.
When is Toronto again?
December 13 to 15, I think.
December. Okay.
Yeah. It's going to be cold in Toronto. Bring my jacket.
Yeah, wow. They really did ask people to come to Canada in winter.
Oh, it'll be fine. Winters there aren't that much different than winters for me. I mean, the only difference is you guys get like a couple more inches. Like, oh no.
Yeah. Yeah. Last year we didn't get any. We didn't get any snow.
Even better. Yeah, you had wildfires instead.
Canada heated up a little bit. Yeah, it was not great. Okay, so yeah, Worlds 2025, 2026, get pumped for it. 2025 season has already begun. That's typically what happens when
I guess I should change the title on my videos, huh?
Finishes. That's true.
I'm still putting 2024. Okay, well, I'll start tomorrow.
Well,
done.
So now a little bit of I like doing that where like if somebody says something like that, I'll go and check. I'll be like, oh, did they follow through with that? Is everything just 2025 from then on? It will be. So there you go. All right, let's talk Worlds 2024, though. Let's take a look back into Regulation G, one regulation ago. Today
Very
it's,
diverse top 8, man. Talk
yeah.
about a world championships. Only one country is doubled in the top 8.
So I guess our mission is to find the most Pachirisu-like Pokemon in the top 8.
In the top 8?
Who is the Pachirisu of Regulation G? And I'm just looking at this right now. I'm going to go ahead and say one. Yeah, I wonder if we're thinking the same one. Is it Mr. Alecki?
No.
No. Okay, which one's
That
yours?
is a good one, though. Alecki, I would agree, it could be considered one. I was going to say Iron Valiant's in number 2, brother.
Iron Valiant. Yeah.
Didn't win, but it is there.
It sure did come close. The winner's team is pretty much what you would expect Regulation G. Like, it was a good wrap up to Regulation G, where they're like, yep, Mike, this is the team.
We were right, though. Remember in the beginning of Regulation G, everyone was still playing with the Raging Bolts. We said, nah, dude, they're sleeping on Iron Hands. Not a single Raging Bolt in top 8. 2 Iron Hands, though, and Iron Hands won the whole thing.
Right.
Once you give Iron Hands an ability, it's stupid. The end.
Iron Hands was so widely used before Miraidon was even allowed in the game.
Yeah.
And then Miraidon was allowed in the regulation, and Electric Terrain was dropped, and then Iron Hands got an ability. It's like it was playing with everybody else who was using their ability, and it was keeping up the entire time because it was Iron Hands. Yeah. Okay, so the way that the top 8 broke down, and we always talk about this, I can even talk about the top 16 because Worlds is fun like that. From 9th to 16th place, the winners got $5,000 which not a bad turnout if you go out for that. 8th through 5th gets $10,000. 4th place gets $15,000 in their 2025 Worlds invite. 3rd place gets $15,000 in their 2025 Worlds invite. 2nd place gets $20,000 in their 2025 Worlds invite. And 1st place gets $30,000 and their 2025 Worlds invite.
They don't even have to play next season.
Nah. See you next year. Now, if you were one of the 4 people who got your 2025 Worlds invite, what would you do in terms of like playing in tournaments? Would you?
I feel like you'd have to, or else you just start sucking, but you technically don't have to.
Yeah, I'm super curious to see who actually goes to those like future tournaments.
I've got to assume, maybe this is just me assuming, that if you are a top caliber player that can get a Worlds 2025 invite from doing well at Worlds, you probably already have a hard enough time putting this game down. So they're just going to keep playing this game.
That's fair. It's true. You know, if you're that good, then you've made it your life already. Like you're already spending a lot of time in it. Or maybe not. Maybe these guys are just like actual closet geniuses with it, and just like they pick up the game and they're like, yeah, I understand this. Yeah.
US sucked. Where are we? Justin Knox, number 12. Yeah, Canada killed it.
Canada did really well. They had such a good turnout. Yeah, looking at that, that's really neat. Okay, so as we usually do, we break down our top 4 teams, and we're going to start with Korea. Songjae Jeong, who came in with a team very identical to the team that won. Miraidon, Ogrepon, Hearthflame, Whimsicott, Iron Hands, Urshifu, and Farigiraf. So again, spoiler alert, this team won, but this team came in 4th from Songjae.
Some of the sets are different, if it's worth noting.
Okay.
The biggest interesting thing here, and I feel like this was a late game meta development right before Worlds, is that they started giving Iron Hands low kick and drain punch.
Sure. Okay.
I'm trying to.
So they've like replaced Wild Charge essentially.
Yeah,
They
just
said,
double
we don't
fighting
need
moves.
electric.
I'm thinking that's just like really good into Zamazenta. That's like I'm scrolling through the top teams and I'm trying to see which one low kick makes the most amount of sense for, and it
Right.
screams Zamazenta to me. It's probably the best way of dealing with Zamazenta.
Like, at what point are you clicking low kick?
It has to be a heavy Pokemon. There's no heavy Pokemon up here.
Ursaluna.
Maybe. How heavy is this bear?
How heavy's bear? Bear pretty heavy.
Ursaluna weight.
I mean, it's certainly not taking hits.
639 pounds.
Yep, we got the number. So now how much damage is that from low kick then? Probably max.
A lot.
Yeah.
Probably max, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Which
it caps at like 120.
is 120, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't take that as gospel from us, because we don't.
Come on. I'll tell you in a second.
Please do.
Maximum is 120, yeah.
Maximum is 120. Hey, look at that.
Hey.
See, because Kevin and I, okay, so if you're just tuning in to Pokésports and you don't know anything about us, hi, fun place for you to jump in. Kevin and I are vibes-based players.
If it feels right, it's right.
Yeah. We're like, this'll probably KO.
The math feels good here.
Yeah.
I get this.
Over time, I think we've become a little bit more accurate in our guesses, but they are still guesses. There is no math involved. Very little math involved. Okay, so that's cool that Songjay got there with that. I'm curious to see what the differences between him and the top player are. And just looking at this, looks like
it's mostly Terras, I think.
Mostly Terras, yeah. The Whimsicott on the 4th place team had a Water Terra, and it had a Dark Terra on the top team. Oh, also it's a different Urshifu.
And a different Iron Hands.
Right.
This one has Wild Charge. And a Bug Terra. Ooh.
This one has, we're going to get to it eventually, so us jumping around is probably confusing. But the Iron Hands in first,
the winningest.
It had Wild Charge, but it also had Low Kick, and it also had Drain Punch.
Had it all. It skipped out on Heavy Slam. Yeah.
Right. It skipped out on Heavy Slam. That's interesting. All right. So let's move on. We've got Michael Kelsch, who came in 3rd with, then there's the Zamazenta. We've got Zamazenta, Urshifu Rapid Strike, Entei, Rillaboom, Chien-Pao, and Fluttermane.
Speaking of Fluttermane, where's Fluttermane in this top 8?
Here.
There's only 2.
Here. This is your answer, is here.
Just here. That's is that not surprising to you?
That's absolutely surprising. Yeah.
Like, Homeboy was like top 3 in usage, and suddenly
how the mighty have fallen.
Now the mighty is dead.
Yeah, it's it's fun to see the wash up of Fluttermane. Yeah. But I mean, the sets are still very much the same for Fluttermane. You're running Icy Wind, and damage.
You remember when Zamazenta used to suck? It's good now.
Yeah.
It's really good now.
I love that about that, especially because Terra Dragon is such an interesting Terra type. Such a good counter to the fire, water, grass core. You just slap that on Zamazenta, and you know, you have a whole new set of resistances.
Yeah, because like one of the few things that can still hit you for super effective damage is a Fluttermane, and let's be honest, Fluttermane doesn't want to try to Moonblast you when you have a Heavy Slam in front of it.
Right, exactly. Well, it's got that, and also just the fact that it's Zamazenta. So like, it's steel fighting, right?
Yeah, big dog, scary dog.
Which, I mean, neutral damage, but still.
Second dog that's steel fighting, by the way. Third dog that's steel. There's a lot of steel fighting dogs.
Oh, Lucario. You're talking Lucario.
I was, and then I remembered Cobalion.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of a dog.
Well, I mean, Cobalion is just Lucario, but harder.
Lucario, but next generation.
Yeah. Lucario's... Yeah.
It even has the same ability. They didn't think that hard with that one. They're like, Lucario.
Cobalion is the one she tells you not to worry about.
Yeah, and there you go.
Lucario is you. There we go. There's the joke. Okay. Yeah, Yeah, Chempao is still the same Chempao that it always was. It's got Throat Chop now, which I think is a little new.
It stops snarls that way.
No, that's fair. The Zamazenta with Body Press, Heavy Slam, Wide Guard, and Protect. Just the big protecty boy. I love that like Zamazenta is role playing as Zamazenta in this.
What does that mean?
Like we're yeah.
Explain.
Okay. So Zamazenta is the protector dog. And so it has two different types of protect.
Oh, fair. Okay.
Yeah. We got Wide Guard and Protect. It protects both of you and also itself. It's beautiful.
It's cute.
Yeah. Urshifu Rapid Strike has always been Urshifu Rapid Strike, except this one has Substitute, which is fun.
That avoids spores and burns from
Among
Us and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
And Will-O-Wisp for Mincins.
Yeah. And then Entei is the same old Entei that we know, except this one also, again, there's like these little nuances to it that makes it really interesting, right? This one has Stone Edge.
Ooh.
Yeah. Sacred Fire and Flare Blitz.
Michael's a lot more brave than I am.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sacred Fire and Flare Blitz?
Yeah.
There must be a special calc where he needs a Flare Blitz there for Sacred Fire not to be enough.
I would imagine.
It's only 20 base power difference. Yeah, there must be a special calc somewhere.
Yeah. Coming in second was Yuta Ishigaki.
I hate that team. That team ruins.
Really?
Yeah, that team actually ruined me at NAIC.
See, I find it weird that you say that though, because it's a Trick Room. Well, it has Trick Room.
It has Trick Room, but the other strat that it uses is just it's thankfully not this team.
Okay.
Oh, it's similar though, because instead of using the Urshifu for coaching, it uses the Iron Valiant for coaching.
Oh,
you just sit there and coach the Calyrex, and you just can't deal with it. It's
okay. So this team is Landorus Incarnate, Urshifu Rapid Strike, Iron Valiant, Pelipper, Amoonguss, and Calyrex Ice. And yes, as Kevin said, the Iron Valiant has coaching, Encore, Wide Guard, and Spirit Break. It's got
full support. Yeah,
one attack on it.
Full support Iron Valiant. If it works, it works. Double Wide Guard on this team, too. That just goes to show how strong Wide Guard was in Regulation G.
Right.
Because it fell off a lot in Regulation H. Because you lost your Kyogres, you lost your Groudons, you lost your Calyrexes. There are just so many Pokemon that don't have spread moves anymore. So you're just like, is it really worth not running Protect and running Wide Guard instead?
The Pelipper's there for the weather. It's got Weather Ball, Hurricane, Helping Hand, and Wide Guard. Again, a very utility mon. This
very
team
totalitarian
has three totalitarian. It's this Marxist Pelipper. There are 3 Pokemon on this team that are basically there for utility. Which personally I get scared of. I feel like that's too much, but I don't use
you got
that
no
properly.
Damage. I mean, do you need more damage than Urshifu, Calyrex, and Landorus Incarnate?
Yeah. That's true.
That's a lot of damage already.
That's quite a bit of damage. The Amoonguss with Spore, Pollen Puff, Rage Powder, and Clear Smaug.
Amoonguss makes us poor.
The Desolation of Clear Smaug. That's never been said before. I think I said a unique sentence. I think I said a Google whack.
The desolation of what?
The Desolation of Clear Smaug.
Smaug. From the poor Amoonguss. Smaug.
Yeah, from the poor Among. Yeah. Landorus with Choice Scarf, Earth Power, Sandsear Storm, Sludge Bomb, U-Turn. U-Turn is actually kind of interesting, but the rest of those pretty standard.
Yeah. Not specs. Scarf was a lot more prevalent during the later stages of the meta.
Yeah. Scarf makes sense. It's U-Turn that kind of
they wanted a little remnants of Landorus theory, and that's why you just gotta have that U-Turn in there.
I find it strange that Sheer Force doesn't work with that. Kevin has left.
I'm back.
All right, there we are. Kevin, you turned out of here. Yeah, I'm out. Bye. Yeah, spin right back around. You're wearing cords.
I got a wire.
Yeah. He's wearing a wire. Get him. Or don't, because he's wearing a wire. And they'll know. Yeah, like, why does U-turn still work?
I don't know.
You know, it's a secondary effect.
Hold on. Hey Siri, call Junichi Masuda.
Calling dad. The Calyrex Ice with Clear Amulet, Glacial Lance, High Horsepower, Trick Room, and Protect. So
Mike's
what
spending
about
extra
this?
time on this team?
Well, we're at the top 2 now. You got to get through every single Pokemon. Especially because the one in first is Lucas Ceribelli, who brought the same team as the 4th guy. Electro Drift, Draco Meteor, Dazzling Gleam, and Volt Switch on the Miraidon. Is Miraidon, Ogerpon, Hearthflame, in case you forgot, Urshifu, Rapid Strike, Iron Hand, Whimsicott, and Farigiraf. Psychic Noise on Farigiraf. Just going to say that.
I like refrigerators.
I love Farigirafers.
Psychic Noise, yeah, it stops drain punches. Also, probably another reason why low kick is there too.
Yeah, that's true.
Does Psychic Noise stop grassy terrain healing?
I believe so.
I don't know why I'm asking you, like you'd know.
Yeah, why would I know?
I'm asking Mike, who's probably never clicked that move once in his life.
I mean, listen.
They just released it.
Well, I'm looking it up and I can't find it quick enough. So, you know what? Maybe. Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be something? I mean, if you really need for her to control, you can run Psychic Terrain. No, that's just Reddit talking about some utter nonsense.
Typical Reddit.
Fine. We'll find out someday.
Someone will tell us.
That'd be nice.
Welcome to Interaction Sports.
It would genuinely be nice if Interaction Sports happened here and people told us if it worked or not. So YouTube comments, please
Remember when we used to do this live and people could actually just tell us when we're stupid?
Yeah. Yeah, but that was 4 years ago, so I was probably boring during that time. Like, what's the word? Intonation? No, like, my voice didn't go all over the place. You know? Wow. Woo. So that was Worlds 2024. I hope you enjoyed Worlds if you did go. I hope you enjoyed Worlds if you watched it with the added production value. I feel like Pokemon steps up their game every year. Mm-hmm. And again, like, this isn't this isn't new information to people. I do work in the events industry, specifically in AV. And the thing that I know about Pokemon is that they do keep upping their game in terms of the technology used. But Kevin has some really interesting stats for us.
Yeah. So escharts.com, which is like an esports analytics thing, essentially looked at the viewership of the Pokemon World Championships and just like released that to us and then like broke it down by game. Peak concurrent viewership of VGC only was 123,878. I come from a time of Pokemon where we were lucky to get 10,000 viewers on the World Championships.
I remember when we saw 10,000 viewers once and we were like, oh, wow, look at all the people watching.
123,000 is actually nuts. And the fact that the highest viewership, even though like popularity wise and I guess player base wise, TCG has always been highest. The fact that VGC is the highest viewership just shows how much like enjoyable it is to watch VGC. I've always enjoyed watching VGC more than like TCG, for example, mostly because I know how that game works, but I find that interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of just lends itself to the fact that VGC is a video game and video games do well streaming. I think that's like, this is good for the game, obviously, but like, I think if this does anything, it should show people that like online tournaments are needed in this space. And we're going to talk about this later where, you know, online tournaments are kind of coming back in a bit of a big way and people are getting into them. And I
Are you
think largely
surprised?
due to this. Yeah.
Are you surprised by Unite's number?
I am very surprised. I'm very surprised by 76,000 people watching Unite.
I thought it would be more.
77,000 watched TCG. I don't. I didn't think that it would be more.
Okay.
I was surprised, honestly, that it was that high.
I'm surprised it goes that high, but continue.
That's fair too. No, that's fair too.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that TCG Masters was higher than Unite, but I'm also surprised that Unite is that high. Watching tabletop games on stream is not something that I thought people did that often.
Mhm.
But I'm happy to see it. I'm glad that people were doing it. But for Unite, it's like I feel like that game has a niche audience, and it kind of always has. Whoa, Kevin, just like cats.
Whoa.
Your cat's got the zooms.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. But again, like, happy to see Unite at the numbers that it was at. I mean, 76K is great for a game that's 5 years old, and I think people kind of wrote off shortly after it came out. They're like, okay, this game isn't really going anywhere, but it's still here.
I think it was a couple of months back we looked up like the monthly users Unite has. It's very big. It's like 3 million or whatever it was. That's monthly. That's kind of wild.
Well,
but not everyone
mobile games.
Yeah, not everyone is competitive with it, right? Not everyone's gonna sit and watch like VGC at its peak. Everyone's playing VGC the first month the game drops, but then not everyone's watching VGC content 5 years later.
Sure. And then TCG seniors and TCG juniors are, I would say, probably residuals from the rest of the tournament. People who are watching that are probably also just watching the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that you shouldn't watch TCG seniors and juniors, but
it is interesting.
Do think that's what most of the
this could be data manipulation, but like they clumped VGC all together, but they separated TCG. Because technically, if you do add all the TCGs together, VGC isn't number one anymore. If you just take the divisions and add them all together.
Do you think this is like, we want to show esports in a positive light, and this just happens to be like the most esports of Pokemon?
I mean, let's not pretend data manipulation doesn't exist.
No, you're right.
It does. It's very easy to do too.
Yeah. I could spend days on esports ES charts.
Oh, okay. No, there's also watch time distribution. Okay, so TCG seniors and TCG juniors only had 1.8% watch time distribution. VGC had 32.7. Out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games, technically quote unquote games, a third of them were spent watching VGC. So I guess yes, VGC still, even though it doesn't have the highest concurrent viewership, it's still the most watched.
Sure.
Yeah.
And excluding, well, actually, even if you include TCG seniors and juniors, the
TCG is actually the least
in
watched.
General, is the least watched. Even if you add together the seniors and juniors watch time, trading card game takes up about 20% of the total watch time. Unite has 22, Go has 23. As Kevin said, VGC has 32.
Yeah. Okay. Good job, VGC.
Yeah.
We did something.
Well, moving on to Pokemon Unite, was this a drop at Worlds? Was this info that dropped at Worlds?
It might have been. It was dropped around Worlds.
It's certainly information we have now. There are 3 new Pokemon being released into Pokemon Unite for September, October, and November. September just got released was Armarouge. And Kevin's happy about that.
I like Armarouge. I think we need more ranged attackers. I felt like Cerulege got too much love.
Sure.
And if it's as stupid as Cerulege was when it dropped, it'll be fun to play.
Cerulege was definitely big.
I think Cerulege, as just like my cat, had like the largest gap closer ever. Just like from
Your
door
cat
to
had a gap closer.
from door to window.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a problem. I don't know if and we're not gonna go over Armouge's abilities and stuff today because that would just be a very long podcast. But
And also,
when
like,
we
we
do,
haven't played it yet.
yeah. So when we do, we'll see what it's got cooking.
Yeah.
Hopefully no gap closers. I'm hoping it's more of a tanky slash, because I don't know. I get tanky vibes from Armouge.
Let's
I
make
know
it.
it doesn't.
It'll be ranged.
Yeah, it'll be ranged, but it'll be like, ranged and immobile probably.
Mm-hmm.
Double jumps.
From what I've seen, it has a lot of like you want to fight with it on the outskirts of its range because it has like this big fire circle. And again, I'll get past first impressions by next week, but like it has this big fire circle that if you hit if you get hit while it's active, I think it reduces damage or something. So yeah, it might be interesting. October is going to be Darkrai, which is going to be fun. And then November is the real gap closer of this game because it's Psyduck.
They're making us wait all the way till November for Psyduck.
I know.
And no, yes, we know what we said. We said Psyduck. It's not Golduck.
No.
It is only Psyduck.
Right.
As we can see with Unite, they just decide not to evolve things when they want. This also just means that they're probably never going to evolve Duraludon.
No, I think they will at some point because they why they're doing Psyduck is for the memes. Is so that everyone can play with their favorite little ducky. But UniteDB.com. I'm curious if there are any other Pokemon. I feel like eventually they're going to evolve Duraludon and be like, hey, we've revamped this. We revamped Udyr. You can go and play with him now. Unite-DB.com. I went to UniteDB.com and it was a
broken.
It was a plant website.
A GoDaddy link.
A GoDaddy link. Are there any other Pokemon that don't evolve? I mean, Pikachu. If they're going to revamp anything, they can revamp Mr. Mime, Slowbro, and Duraludon. Those
Slowbro doesn't evolve, Mike.
I know, but you can do
make a slow king.
Yeah, you do like a slow poke to a slow bro or a slow king kind of thing.
And then you can Galarianize them.
Right. Wasn't that the thing with Scyther is like you can choose to make it evolve or not? Or is just Scyther like a different Pokemon that you select?
No, you choose.
Right.
You choose if you want to go Scizor.
Yeah, so that
Same thing
sounds
with
like
Ursh.
a Slowpoke thing.
You choose which Ursh to evolve into also. You could choose single or rapid.
I'm just realizing that I've never played with Urshifu before.
Yeah, it's in the game.
Yeah. Huh. Okay.
Goes punch, 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 punch.
It certainly does go punch, 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 punch. I would also love to see if they ever integrate Mega Evolutions into this.
They're bringing that to Go, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's already.
Not Mega Evolution. Sorry, they're bringing Dynamax to Go.
They are. Yeah. That is a thing. All right, and then the last thing that we can get into here are the challenges. We've got the Grand Challenge 2025.
Yay!
Information about that.
Signups opened up the 12th, which was yesterday.
Yeah.
So go sign up. You have until the 19th for this.
You do. And battles run from September 20th through the 23rd. It's a good old-fashioned league challenge.
Yeah.
Where I believe it's like 15 games a day for those 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Up to 45 battles total. The cool thing is you get a lot of CP this time around. Like the CP trade is actually really good. You get 20 CP just for being top 1024th.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And the kicker is 2049, which is like you're gonna hit it. Like there's gonna be more than 2,000 players.
That's the one thing that I kind of really like about this this championship point revamp. How like now it takes quite a bit of championship points to get your world's invite or to get anything really like good out of this. So they can afford to give them out a little bit more liberally. So like there are going to be people out there who feel really good about the 20 championship points that they get from this. Now it's kind of a drop in the pan for the rest of it, but for some people that might actually make or break their worlds.
Mm-hmm.
So it's cool.
You have to be top 1024 in your region too, so that it's going to eliminate all of the Play Asia countries that don't use CP. Don't use that CP system from within that. So you could technically be like 2000 worldwide and still sneak into top 1000 in like North America.
Right. Yeah. So go and do the grand challenge. It is regulation H. You were telling me about something else.
So what ended up happening is they announced all this stuff on Pokemon Go, and I mean Pokemon Home. So when Victory Road picked it up and it said usable Pokemon, it had Urshifu still there. It had no restricteds, but Urshifu was allowed and other legends were allowed, like Landorus, etc. So that's regulation F. So Victor was like, yeah, this is going to be regulation F, guys. And that caused the whole Twitter shutdown, meltdown. It was so funny. They're like, we just got rid of Urshifu. Now we got to play with it again. We were doing just fine without it. They were very upset. Turns out it was a mistake. They corrected it later.
Good.
It took them 12 hours to do so, though.
Well, they went to sleep. Their time zones were a little bit different, and Sand Game happened.
They opened they opened Twitter. They're like, "Oh, what's everyone yelling about?" Oh, yeah, they're not playing this.
Well, because then they have to like go backwards and be like, okay, so where is it actually wrong? Is it on their site or is it on our end? And it's like, oh, it's us. Oh, we're oops.
Oopsies.
Whoopsie. And then the Victory Road September Challenge happened on September 7th and 8th and had 340 players. It was Victory Road owned and sponsored.
Operated.
Yeah, owned and operated and sponsored tournament. This was a Regulation H tournament. And it operated pretty similarly to how we're used to tournaments operating. 8 day 1 Swiss rounds, 2 day 2 Swiss rounds, asymmetrical top cut. What does an asymmetrical top cut mean? I think that might just mean like
not symmetrical top cut.
Yeah. Well, it looks like you had 48 people in day 2. Oh no, I feel stupid looking at this. Maybe this is
day 2 had 48 people.
Yeah.
48 people, and then top cut was top 16. Oh no, top cut asymmetrical means it wasn't a flat number. There's 17 people in top cut for some reason. What's happening here?
Oh,
so someone probably got DQ'd somewhere.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, I don't know. There's some drama here that I can't find.
There's some stuff, but there was cash awarded. And again, because this was all off of a prize pool, the money amounts are, not rounded, not nice little round numbers that we're used to. But 5th to 8th place was $145. 3rd and 4th place was $290. 2nd place was $575, and 1st place was $1,150. That went to Taro Okada. Who brought a very cool.
Tell me this isn't
team.
A breath of fresh air, Mike. Look at these.
Looking at these
There's
teams.
There's no similar Pokemon here. This is the best.
This rocks. Okay, so let's talk about. I wasn't even going to talk about the teams today, but I want to talk about at least the top 2. So let's go for Gabriel Agati. Who brought in a Dragonite, Glimmora, Dondozo, Tatsugiri, Golden Go, and Talonflame. And this is just regulation C?
No, because that would include Paradox Mons.
B?
That's regulation
A? 0?
Regulation A++, because there's the Talonflame here.
Right? True.
Yeah. The honestly, Gabriel Agati, great player. Disappointed you're running Dondozo, but hey, who can judge?
You
It
gotta
did
do
well.
what you gotta do sometimes, you know?
Gotta do what you gotta do. Dondozo's good. I mean, there's no denying it. That's probably the biggest problem about this meta right now is that Dondozo is really good, and there aren't too many Pokemon that can deal with it. Thankfully, this does mean that everyone's running Haze right now, just so they can go back to dealing with it. You have Haze on Primarinas, you have Haze on Murkrows, you have Haze on Gengars. Even like if it learns Haze, you're running Haze. Or Clear Smog. Clear Smog on Amoonguss, Clear Smog on Torkoal. Clear Smog on Driftblim, I guess. There's a lot of options there too.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why I know that off the top of my head, but that's what came up to my mind.
You've done it. And then again, in first was Taro Okada with a Pelipper, Basculegion, Archaludon, Salamence, King Gambit, and Amoonguss. And that is a list of Pokemon.
That's a terrifying team. Archaludon Pelipper is like kind of tearing up the meta. It's a very similar feeling to like just slapping Incineroar on a team and it being good, or you could just slap in DD Hatterene in the back and it'll be good. It's like you just slap Pelipper Archaludon and it'll fit. It's really hard to deal with that because those two as a couple cover each other's weaknesses incredibly well.
And
Pelipper's flying type. Yeah.
Electroshock just in general is such a good move.
Basculegion in the rain with Swift Swim and Choice Band hits like an absolute truck.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you got things like Salamence. I'm surprised that Salamence didn't run Hurricane because that could have hit like an absolute truck too. King Gambit's big in this meta too. King Gambit's been big for a very long time, and all we did now is just get rid of the Urshifu threat. So now King Gambit's just like dancing around. Hey, look at me. I'm King
back.
Gambit.
We are so back, says King Gambit. I feel like Flip Turn is such an interesting move because compare that to like U-Turn, right? You've got Pokemon out there with choice bands and big damage. Usually the people who run U-Turn aren't Bug Stab, but they're still able to use it. You know, does a little bit of damage. They get out of there. You get a safe switch. But with Flip Turn, you get Stab with it for so many of the Pokemon that have it, or the two that I can think of anyway, with Basculegion and Palafin, where like if you're using that, it's an attack. Like it's an actual attack. U-Turn is in my mind mostly like a sash breaker. But Flip Turn, like that's damage and a switch. And Basculegion has Swift Swim. Like it's
and you're in the rain.
And you're in the rain. Yeah, that's it too, right? It's like it's another modifier for your Flip Turn. Like you don't have that many modifier options for U-Turn.
This is a stellar Terra Pelipper too, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Make those hurricanes hurt. Fun fact, did you know Weather Ball is more damage than Hurricane in the rain?
I didn't know that, Kevin.
Me either till recently, until everyone told me in the comment section when I left something at 1 HP because I went for Hurricane instead of Weather Ball.
Oh no. They're like, oh, I should have run Weather Ball. What's the damage difference on that?
Because it goes from you get rainbow, it goes from base 50 to base 100. So it goes base 100 plus stab, so 150.
Yeah.
Plus rainbow, so another 50% increase. So that's
versus Hurricane where you just
which is just 130
plus,
or is it 110? Yeah, it's 110 plus stab. So yeah, the rain boost helps Weather Ball a lot more.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild. Yeah, Kevin's cats are going crazy.
It's just one cat and he's
Kevin's
going nuts.
cat is going crazy.
You heard that? He's like, I'm like, I was like, okay.
I heard it a little bit. Yeah. Cool. Well, that was the VR September challenge #1. And that's kind of what I'm talking about, where it's like these online tournaments, like they're still here. They still do really, really well. And this is a regulation that like really supports creativity and different teams. And I'm excited to see what other kind of online tournaments come from that.
Fun fact, I think Victory Road is having their second one.
Hey.
Signups for that are happening now if you guys are interested.
So going over to victoryroadvgc.com.
Yeah. Good luck.
Kevin, we got to think of a question to ask people. No, wait a second. I think they actually took that away. I realized that the last time I uploaded this podcast, I'm like, oh, they took away my Q&A.
How could
I miss
they
my
do
Q&A.
that?
Well, it's fine. We have the YouTube section, right? The YouTube comment section.
Use the YouTube comments this time, guys. And if you're listening to this on a podcast, visit us on YouTube. It's not that hard to find. You type the same name that you're seeing on your screen right now.
YouTube.com/Pokésports is where you can find that. You can go and check that out. We've got new videos out every single day against our better judgment. Yeah, what are we seeing? What are we seeing today? This is Lucario Day.
It is Lucario Day, but if you want to see an Anger Point Primate getting procced by Surging Strike Smeargle, it's on the channel.
Surging Strike
Yes,
Smeargle.
that's how I did it. I don't got Urshifu. I used the Smeargle, man. I got my plus. The actual math is stupid because you have Eviolite, so you have the boosted defenses, right?
Yes.
You have Anger Points. So if you're hit by a critical move, you get +6 in attack immediately. Right. And then your Rage Fist gets stacked 3 times while you're getting hit and critted to +6. So you got a +6, 3-stack boosted Rage Fist. You start off with a base 150 +6 attack that you're just punching things with the Primate. And then every turn afterwards, you just follow me with the Smeargle like an idiot until the Smeargle's gone and you just keep punching their friends.
That's wonderful. Cool. Okay. Well, you can go and check that out at youtube.com/Pokésports. Kevin also streamed the other day, and that was really cool to see. How did that feel?
Weird.
Yeah, I would imagine.
It was fun though.
That's good.
I was gonna say something, I forgot though.
Well,
I opened my mouth, Mike stopped, and then we just stared at each other. That's how this happened.
That's our friendship. Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye. You're gonna fade into the actual thing,
intro.
Right?
I think you were saying the intro, though.
It's okay. You'll cut.
We'll see how it overlaps. You know. Oh, it's definitely not going to work now. Oh.